Hey everyone, it's Karen and Andy at Blue Rooster Farm, and today we are back out in the garden wanting to give you another tour and update. We've had really great weather and lots of rain, lots of cool weather and warm weather. Nothing too hot though, so our garden's really doing great, don't you think?
Yeah, everything's really growing tremendously since last time. I think it's been a couple weeks or maybe 3 weeks since we've been out here, but there's been a lot of changes, for sure.
So we're going to show you what we've got. I'll turn you around and let you see. Okay, we just started at the top here. You want to tell anything about what we got going on here?
That's our seeded lettuce row there and back, and it's ready. We need to start harvesting it. It's really come along nicely, and the cabbage is really growing.
We haven't had that much of the white cabbage butterfly or moth, have we?
They're chewing on it some, you can see. But
I haven't seen them flying around as much.
I haven't noticed them, no.
But we haven't had a whole bunch of cabbage, and we've stopped planting broccoli for a couple of years now. Oh, and I stuck a horseradish plant in the tub here. I think that's new since last time. Our earlier lettuce has gone to seed, and we'll just let that go ahead and bloom, and maybe we'll get some early lettuce next year. And tell us about the potatoes.
Potatoes, we hilled them up and then mulched them. And you can see when we first had them planted, it looked like, boy, maybe we left a little too much space in there. But now if you look at them, they have really filled out. They're really doing great. We do have a lot of the potato beetle larvae on there. We've been picking them off every day, and we're kind of getting a handle on them. But there's been a lot of them on there. I don't see any. Oh, there's one right there. Right there. They're just kind of a orangish, pinkish kind of grub, and they evidently must not taste good because they're out here all the time in the sun. That doesn't bother them. There's another one down there, and the birds evidently don't like them because they're not out there eating them. But at this point, I think the potatoes are so far along they're not going to cause us too much trouble anyway. But they're really doing nicely, really filling in well.
And our corn, this is that early corn we were talking about. What's the variety?
It was an early summer glow. It's a 62-day corn. And if you can see, it's starting to, the tassels are showing already, because it should make ears by the end of June.
Is it on?
You can see it's
got
gonna,
one right here, yeah.
As an early corn, it's not gonna be very tall. You know, it's probably about 4 feet tall or so right now. And I suspect it'll have smaller ears too, but you can see we've never had corn nearly this early. And 62-day corn just means it's supposed to go from, you know, germination to putting on an ear and harvest in about 62 days. So I suspect it'll be a little shorter corn, little smaller ears, but it'll be neat to have some in June.
You might just want to stay over there in case we need to look at something.
It's a new strawberry bed, and they're taking off and doing really well. Starting to send out runners, even some of them already.
Got a couple spots that we need to replace. I've got a couple plants still in the fridge that we can probably try to put in there.
You can see the onions are getting, you know, they're probably, golf ball size or already, some of these coming along really nicely.
When you plant those so that they're not too deep, right?
Right. They don't. Old guy told me once that. I mean, he was like 90, and he said that they won't push dirt. So he even would pull the dirt away from the bulbs and just leave the root part in the ground and let them expand out. And I've never gone quite that far with it, but that's what he said to do. And he grew some really big onions.
Yeah, you can see some nice ones forming over there. I can get that one in.
Yep.
Sun's
yeah, they're really
peeking through the clouds now.
We have 3 or 4 different types.
And our spinach, which we didn't have a whole great luck of it coming up, I have harvested it twice. I have we've eaten it at salad several meals, and then I've also blanched it and froze it. And I make it in little balls so that I can take individual spinach balls out and use them in different recipes, soups, omelets, spinach dip, eggs, things like that.
Pasta type.
Yep, pastas. Yep. And then look at the beans. We've got beans that are blooming, and they've probably got little tiny beans on them too.
Yep.
You want to pull some leaves back and just see what's inside there. Just really great looking plants.
First little bitty one right there.
Can't get your one arm's in the way. Okay, we're gonna try here.
A little tiny one right there.
Yep. So they are already putting on beans, and those were jade.
Yes,
is that right?
Those are jade, and we've never had beans this early either. And then keep in mind, our normal frost dates are somewhere around mid-May and then mid-October. So these we planted them. They easily could have got smoked by a frost, and we'd have had to replant them. But it takes about 5 minutes to do that. It's kind of neat to have something this early.
And if you watched my video on the old-fashioned oatmeal cake, my grandmother Allen's cake, you will see that I got my sweet potatoes planted, and they kind of go through a little bit of a shock when they are outside first, but they are all taking off now. They are getting new leaves. I've got a couple of spots right down here that I'm going to put some more. I had to get some more rooted, and I've got those ready to go. They're all rooted and ready. So it looks like those are set. Hopefully we'll have some sweet potatoes. And my battery is getting low on my camera, so we're going to try to do this pretty quickly. So I'm going to take you real quick first of all over here to my zinnias where the little rabbits had been, and show you that hopefully there's not going to be a surprise here. Yes, okay. So finally I'm getting a start on the zinnia seeds. They're not eating them. It looks like they've finally moved on. You can see the ones that they never touched are huge over here. I had to replant the others. I think that was the 3rd time I planted. So hopefully these will catch up with those here really soon. I did harvest some gooseberries, so there's not as many on there. I think I can probably get a few more, though I see some big ones on there. Petunias that self-seeded are doing so pretty, doing great. I've got the cucumbers coming up right over there.
The back side of that white fence.
White fence. What do we got here? Anything yet?
There's nothing in this bed.
Nothing here.
And this bed's half. We've got our 2nd run of beans coming up there and doing pretty well. I've got it mulched up to this point. I just mulched the peppers the other day.
Yes, and he just did this, and they're looking good. They're getting so big. I, in fact, got a pepper off one of those plants over there on the other end this weekend.
Yeah, that's kind of bizarre. I didn't think they'd have peppers that early, but they did.
Oh, here's one here, too. This one's not as big, though. Looks like something's eating that one.
Yeah.
There's more peppers in that row right there. Then we've got our tomatoes. And this is what you've been working on, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been working on these are just old beat up candle panels, so we made, or maybe hog panels, but I just kind of bent them into a 90-degree and put woven wire on the outside. And I'm pretty certain we'll see as summer goes along, but I think they'll grow to the top of those, and those are 8 feet tall.
Yeah, if it's a summer like we've had in the past,
yeah,
it will have no problem.
Now, I don't have enough to do them all like that, but we're just going to put them in those and see how they do. But need to get the rest of them, something around the rest of them, because you can see they're starting to lay over already.
Yeah, we'll need to get those worked on here real soon. This is the third planting
run of corn. That's a 85-day Lion-Eye Super Sweet variety of corn. And it's a 85 days, so it'll be stepped out. And our second run of corn is 75-day Bodacious. And we've planted that one before. The early Summer Glow and this Lion-Eye Super Sweet we haven't grown before, so it'd be interesting to see how that goes. But
now you probably want to show off these plants over here. This is my zucchini, and I tell you what, it just has taken off within the last couple of days. I'm watching for the what kind of bug is it?
Vine borers and then squash bugs.
Squash bugs, the squash bugs. I did notice that it looked like there were some blooms getting ready to start inside there. So hopefully we will be getting, get the camera down there. There we go. Hopefully we will be getting some zucchinis on there. Once they get set, they grow overnight. So
yeah, they're freakish plants. I don't understand how they grow so fast. They do.
But they're looking really good.
The squash bugs will lay their eggs. They'll be kind of a golden brown color on the underside of the leaf. And they'll be here sooner or later because they won't.
Well, you know, on the last video, he hadn't hoed around them or anything. And so I got out here and hoed around them. And then a couple days later, he put the mulch around them and the hay and stuff. So, you know, he's taking care of them now. And then if you look right here, we've got our raspberries. I've been picking small bowls of them lately. These are the ones that will turn black. And we've got some that are just about ripe there. This side over here are the black ones. And then this side over here are the ones that will be light purple. And these are the ones that I've been picking more of because they are ripe. And I think, let's see, you can tell if they're ripe if they just pop off. That one's not quite ready. It'll get a little bit lighter and paler in color. I just picked some yesterday, so let's see if I can find one that's ready today. This one might be ready. This one looks like it.
Yeah, almost dusty colored a little bit.
Yeah,
when they're ripe.
Picks right off. And they're so sweet. There's another one I think looks ready. Yeah. Get out of there, Gus. You don't need those. Nope. And so those are getting ripe. We got tons of those. And if everything goes as planned, we should have good crop. And here we have some of the and then here we have some of the black ones, and here's a nice big one. That one looks good. And it is good. So we'll be making stuff with our raspberries soon. I'll probably make some raspberry pie filling and we'll freeze them. Maybe some jelly. Use them fresh. Lots of good ideas for raspberries. And in the background there, those elderberries are really blooming. We'll see if we get elderberries this year. Fruit trees, just the apple trees are going to have fruit this year, and our cherries, of course. We've been getting tons of cherries. Oh, and should we show the secret garden real quick? Can we walk over there real quick? Last time I videotaped, you guys probably remember that at the front of our yard, we had a project going. We still have this project. This project right here is on the corner, and we need to put down landscaping fabric weed barrier and then re-rock it. This is where we had to dig up to get a water line break fixed. Oh, and these flowers right here as we're going around. Beautiful, those verbena. Really, really pretty. And once those blue salvia start blooming, you're going to have a patriotic pot there, red, white, and blue. Got some lilies starting to bloom here. We've been trimming back trees, bushes. Got our bushes up here all trimmed. Sorry if it's shaky. We're trying to hurry before my battery goes. And then here is what they finished a week and a half ago. Landon came home and Andy and Landon worked on finishing this up. Got the vinyl fencing up. And it's kind of hard to see with the tree here. Let me go around this way. But there we go. Looking very pretty now. I'm glad that it's set up. Inside, well, there's my aloe vera. It's crazy. Inside we have lilies, black-eyed Susan, honeysuckle. I planted some sunflowers right over by the pot of petunias. Some other big lilies. Phlox, tall phlox, ferns. I think there's a white coneflower in here. Yep, there it is right there. Let's see if I can get my finger there. Oh, there's a white coneflower right there. So this should be in bloom here real soon, and it just blooms all summer with different varieties. So our impatiens are growing even after Gus had got in there. Yeah, and here's that. Yeah, you want to tell them what that is again?
I guess just some volunteer common milkweed. I don't know how it got there, but we'll let it grow and see if we get any monarch butterflies on it and caterpillars.
And I pointed that out on my last video because it was pretty small then, but it's gotten really big. So we'll see how that goes. And behind it is a limelight hydrangea. And, oh, our hydrangeas are starting to bloom, and they're really pretty. So things are starting to bloom. Got our pots starting. They're not looking just great yet, but they're starting to. The pots on the logs are full bloom, and they'll be kind of hanging over here soon. By the vinyl fence here, the Monarda is getting ready to bloom, and it will be really showy. Plus the lilies will all be blooming here soon. But the Monarda is a wonderful plant to bring in butterflies, bumblebees, I believe even the hummingbirds, but all the pollinators just really like that. So everything is growing and growing well. We hope the season continues, and hopefully our produce will be in abundance this year, and we'll have a lot of food to put up for the winter. All right. Anything else, Andy?
No, I believe that does it for now.
Well, thanks for going along with us and sticking around, and I hope all of you are able to get out and do your own gardening and enjoying it, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.